Hey there, Teresa McGallagher back again today to talk to you about surviving this coronavirus lockdown quarantine time by improving your mindset. Today, I thought I'd talk about mind over matter. My husband, who used to be in the Marine Corps, says they used to tell him in the Marine Corps that you don't matter and I don't mind, and that's mind over matter, but that's not what I'm planning to talk about. If there's one thing that I've learned in my almost 60 years on this planet, it's that the mind is more important than the body. The mind controls the body and not the other way around. Unfortunately, it seems like so many people are used to walking around in a body and experiencing life with their body and through the senses of the body that the body seems to take precedence over the mind. And what happens is if the body gives us some kind of message, like it hurts, for example, that's a very loud and a very strong message that's difficult to ignore. But we tend to have thoughts, and they could be painful thoughts or upsetting thoughts, and we don't do anything about that. We just let that go on and kind of run amok. And what I have found is that when you have these untrained thoughts, these thoughts just running loose in your mind and out of control, it creates an experience for you in the body. For some people, it can even result in illness if it goes on long enough and it's strong enough. So, A Course in Miracles, my spiritual practice, says you must decide if you want freedom of the mind or freedom of the body. For both, you cannot have. You have to choose. And right now, I think it's a very interesting time for us that many of us do not have freedom of the body. We're not able to go out and do all of the things that we normally do, travel, and move the body from place to place. And for some people, that's very upsetting and very disturbing. They want their body to be able to do things, and having to be at home, having to be still, having to be quiet is forcing them to see what is going on inside of their minds. But what I have also learned is that the sooner that your mind gets trained up and you get control over your thought processes, and you can do that through some of the things that I've talked about the last few days, through meditating, through contemplative prayer, through walking meditation, exercise. Yoga is great for that. Yoga is the Sanskrit word for yoke, and it is a way to yoke up the body with the mind, and to yoke our physical experience with the divine experience. And journaling, all of these kinds of things help us to clear the mind and to gain some awareness and some self-observation. Because until we see what's going on inside the mind, we can't do anything about it. You can't address the mind running amok until you realize that the mind is going crazy. And what happens, I think, for a lot of people is we busy ourselves with activities so we don't have to look at what's going on inside of our mind. We just kind of ignore it, turn a blind eye to it, and stay engaged in a lot of activity. And now during this lockdown time, many of us cannot go about being busy and using that as a form of distraction to prevent us from seeing what's going on inside the mind. So it's a great opportunity right now to become familiar with your mind and to see how it may run amok sometimes, and how that doesn't serve you, and how learning to harness your mental have some awareness and harness your mental activity can really benefit you. So I encourage all of you to take a look at this. Don't be afraid of what's going on inside your mind. It can't hurt you. You are in control. As a matter of fact, your mind is a creative power. Your mind, your thoughts create your reality. How do I know this? We were created in the image of and likeness of God, and God is a creator. And therefore, we also are creators. And the way that we create is not with the body, but with the mind. Everything that you do starts with a thought. You can't go out and paint a painting or compose a work of music if you haven't thought about it first. You get the idea and then you go and do the project. So that's the source, that's the beginning point for all activity. And when you get your mind in order, you will find that the activity will flow easily and effortlessly without all of the struggle that many of us have to put into our activities. So it's great to see you on here. Hi, Alice and Sarah and Michael. And I hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Have a lovely evening and namaste.